Hello, this is Aaron West. I am the author of the A24 New Wave. In this book, I look at A24's output and I make the argument that we are in a new wave movement right now. A24 plays a major role. This book has a supplemental podcast where each episode is a brief conversation about an A24 related topic, whether an actor, director, or even a genre. As I continue research for the book and conduct interviews, I expect to record podcast episodes with people involved with the company. You can find the podcast at cinejourneys.com or wherever you find podcasts, and we are proud to be members of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Hello and welcome to Tumbleweeds and TV Cowboys. My name is Hunter. In this podcast, I'll be joined by a different guest each week to discuss a classic Western movie or TV show. I've been a fan of classic Westerns for as long as I can remember, and in recent years, they've become very nostalgic for me. I love the aesthetic, the tropes, and I love seeing different filmmakers' takes on them. At their best, they're incredibly entertaining, rewatchable, and some of my all-time favorite movies are Westerns. We'll mostly focus on Western movies made in Hollywood, but we'll also be covering spaghetti Westerns, and one thing I'm very excited to get into are Western TV shows. I've got some amazing guests coming on the show, film professors, historians, and podcasters. And Tumbleweeds and TV Cowboys is part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network, and many guests on the show will be from other shows on the network. Thanks for listening.
Hi, this is HP from Noise Junkies.
And this is Father Malone from Dark Destinations.
Please join us as we examine one of the greatest sitcoms in television history, Taxi, on Night Mr. Walters, a Taxi podcast.
Good night, Mr. Walters.
Weirding Way Media.
We deal in paint, pigment, light and shadow, realism, surrealism, impressionism, and ghost stories.
An interest in the oddball, a predilection toward the bizarre. And this place is nothing if it isn't bizarre.
There's no admission, no requirement of membership, only a strong and abiding belief in the dark at the top of the stairs, or things that go bump in the night. The name of this place, should you have come in here accidentally out of the rain, is the Night Gallery.
Welcome back, art lovers, to Midnight Viewing, the Night Gallery podcast, where we discuss Night Gallery, Rod Serling's follow-up to The Twilight Zone. I'm Father Malone, and with me here in the gallery are the Culture Cast's Chris Stashu.
Let me get this straight, lady. Your husband is killing you. Okay. I hate my wife.
And the Projection Booth's Mike White.
Oh, I'm not.
That's it.
Cornell Wilde is here with us right now.
This is Season 2, Episode 19. It aired on February 9th, 1972, making it their Valentine's episode. This one is split into 3 segments. Those are Deliveries in the Rear, Stop Killing Me, and Dead Weight.
Number 1 entry. A painting that suggests a story replete with gaslight, hansom cabs, and cadavers. An all-star cast of corpses appearing in what we call Deliveries in the Rear. Delivered to you now on Night Gallery.
Deliveries in the Rear was written by Rod Serling and directed by Jeff Corey. It stars Cornell Wilde, Rosemary Forsythe, James Metropole, a human Chuck E. Cheese animatronic if I've ever seen one, Peter Whitney, and a young Gerald McCraney, very briefly. Tells the tale of a surgical professor who's procuring specimens for dissection from less than reputable sources. It's just the story of Burke Hare, but from the perspective of Dr. Knox, or in this case, Fletcher. And did you know that to strangle someone while kneeling on their back, thus compressing their lungs, is known as burking?
No, I did not.
Anyway, what'd you think of this one, Mike?
Yeah, boy, oh boy. Well, this is a common theme for this show. If anybody's listened to more than 2 episodes, this one was pretty long. Saw that ending, saw that twist coming quite a ways away. But I liked Cornell Wilde in this. I really liked the grave robbers as well, especially that guy's teeth and the use of all of the wide angle, the fisheye lenses throughout so much of this. I thought it was decent, and I liked the twist at the end, even though it was telegraphed. But yeah, it went on for a little too long for me.
How about you, Chris?
everything Mike just said, but in a Cockney accent. So it's one of these things where, again, similarly to the last episode we talked about with the waiting room, if you know the main character has a significant other in this kind of story, brother, that significant other ain't making it to the end of the story. The joke I wanted to say when you brought me on earlier was, what's in the box? Because it's pretty much the same fucking gag. The more what's in the coffin or what's under the sheet. It's that same thing of, you're about to find out just what happens when you tempt fate, buddy. And, you work with disreputable types and your wife gets murdered because she's the only one wandering the streets of London at night. Conveniently, as they would say. But in this kind of story, that twist makes sense because it's the Twilight Zone. It's just, I don't need 30 minutes of it. Again, just like the waiting room, just brevity is the soul of wit is something a wise man once said. Rod Serling apparently don't give a singular fuck about William Shakespeare, or whoever said that. It's probably Shakespeare, I'm assuming.
Here are my first two notes. Where are we? Everyone is English except the core protagonists. Followed by, are we in England? I don't get it. Mike, I'm sorry I have to disagree with you, but Cornell Wilde seemed to be not remembering his lines the entire episode.
I still liked them. I've
said in the past, Serling's penchant for overwriting dialogue is an asset in the period pieces. I mentioned it in the last episode. It's no truer than in this episode. I think the story is too on the nose, and it takes us way too goddamn long as usual to get there. But it didn't make the trip any less enjoyable. It's way more enjoyable than any of Serling's attempts at contemporary storytelling. What trips this one up for me is Cornell Wilde, and it's because he embodies a contemporary acting style, or straight out of the 50s acting style, that is so jarring that it shakes the episode apart for me. I do think it was beautifully shot. Jeff Corey, every time, each episode, as the series progresses, get better and better. The lighting is moody. There's so much shadow and silhouette, which takes time, which they had no time to make any of these episodes. He frames every room with a door or window, framing the performer. It starts with doors, ends with windows. It's subtle, but by the end, it's like a Creepshow comic book frame behind Cornell Wilde. I just thought that was incredible. If I could be a nitpicking asshole for a moment here, this is Burke Hare, basically. That was 1838. Mannequins weren't created until the 1840s. I know there have been milliners' statues since the 15th century and everything, but that's not what Rod meant. Anyway, it is a nitpick.
I would say that Rod Serling at this point only operates in pedantic storytelling. And I don't understand why at all, because again, we know if there's anything that Rod Serling can do other than smoke cigarettes, drink alcohol, and look suave while doing those two other things, which is hard enough as it is, he can write stories that have an impact, that have longevity, that have a timelessness. And yet, for some reason, it seems like he left it in the 60s. And I just don't understand, because for me, in a lot of ways, Night Gallery felt like a promise that has never been fulfilled, which is the Twilight Zone of the 70s. And in a lot of ways, everybody but Rod Serling has made good on it. Like the show Night Gallery, I've been really enjoying watching it, obviously. But Rod Serling's episodes keep coming up as the ones where we're like, Rod Serling, what's going on, man? And we know a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, but we've had 2 episodes now back to back where it's been Rod Serling has told a half an hour story. And it was a good story that went way too long.
His complaints of being edited, I wish they had.
Yeah.
If this one had clocked in at like 15, 16 minutes, it'd be really, really good. I'd have no complaints at all. The fact that we're left another 12 minutes of people talking for no good goddamn reason, because we're stalling for the big twist, because that's what this episode is all predicated on, the big twist that it's the doctor's wife who he's ended up having murdered inadvertently, though he gets his comeuppance, right? But I don't know.
Yeah. I like that whole little speech at the end where it's just, people say that you can do, well, that's not true. Bah, bah, bah. And it's like, okay, you're laying it on way too thick here, buddy. So for sure, that's going to be your wife in there. Yeah. The actor Ian Wolfe that was in this for a hot second. I thought he was Ned Glass from the last episode. So I was like, oh, cool. He just shows up and sells weird stuff here. But then what's weird is I looked up both of them on IMDb, and both of their IMDb pictures are from episodes of Barney Miller.
All roads converge.
It's spooky.
It's a very little spooky. Right? Or maybe we're all just too focused on a particular time and place in American broadcast television history.
Perhaps.
Question why we're so focused on the 70s, but yet Barney Miller, Kolchak, Columbo, Night Gallery, well, Dreams for Sale doesn't count, but it was based on a show that took place before. So, yeah, we love the 70s and not the VH1 way.
No, I don't have any quips.
Where's Danny Bonaducci making funny laughs?
Or some contemporary person who wasn't even around during the 70s and they're just shocked by things.
Oh,
what? You had pet rocks?
This is a thing? So that's a thing.
Really? Yeah.
Painting number 2 in the Night Gallery, addressing itself to the strains and stresses of the married, having to do with the fact that there is more than one way to kill a cat, and more than one way to dispose of a wife. Our painting is called Stop Killing Me.
Stop Killing Me was written by Jack Laird from a short story by Hal Dresner. Cool Hand Luke's Hal Dresner. Zorro the Gay Blades Hal Dresner. Kind of a slide whistle situation there. This one was also directed by Jeannot Zwark, starring Geraldine Page, first of 3 appearances in the Night Gallery, and James Gregory only. This is about a wife enlisting the aid of a police officer because she believes her husband is slowly murdering her through worry. What'd you think of this one, Chris?
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. I mean, it does go on a little long too, but the length of this one is to sell the length is selling what they're going for. And like, it works here. So she is so harried with him that he is just, fuck yeah, I see why this is the way that it is. Like, that works here. And I enjoyed this episode, but I'm going to be biased because I love James Gregory. Now, again, when we started the Barney Miller show, not so much the case, but his characterization has grown over time and grown on me. But seeing him here is great. He's fun. She plays that character great. He plays that character great. And I love that they keep focusing on the photo of his wife on the fucking desk, because it is the funniest thing where he's, yeah, you're right. I see. There's no one would ever think divorce. It's, oh my God, this guy is just so pent up and angry all day, huh? He's just been waiting for someone like her to walk through his door. And I love that kind of storytelling where it's like these two people were fated to be in this room together for 10 minutes, and it totally works.
I wish that Jeannot Zwark does something interesting in this episode where Geraldine Page will basically imitate her husband and repeat the lines that he keeps saying to her. And when she does that, we get these interesting cuts to almost like from the side all of a sudden. And she will turn to the side and start doing her husband's voice, not like literally saying what he's saying, and then cut back and she'll move back. And they did that a few times, but then they just started doing it kind of willy-nilly as far as where she was going to turn, to the left, to the right, to the straight, to wherever. I wish she had been a little bit more consistent with that, because I thought it was a good device. The way it ended up overall, I still liked it, but I thought it could have been a little bit more powerful as far as that went. But I thought that was nice. And I also like that, to your point, Chris, we have to spend this time. We have to take this time to hear the basically psychological warfare that this guy has been waging on his wife, letting her know that she has very little time to live. And when the payoff happens, I complain a lot about, oh, we know where this is going to go. I was really looking forward to this going where it went to.
This one is a flip side, not of Satan, but of the late Mr. Peddington from 2 episodes ago. Except here, instead of a woman talking herself into murder, she convinces another of the ease of which he can dispatch his own spouse. Starts with a great B-roll of the New York City skyline. Dingy, kind of 1970s look at the show, which I always love. I think Geraldine Page is so electric here. In that scene, those moments in particular, Mike, where she's pantomiming her husband and we keep cutting to this unknown point of view, it's ultimately the viewer's point of view or her point of view, because it's the husband talking to her and being so rude. The cuts are so jarring, but she's so funny. This is a horrible situation. And the things that this husband is doing to her is really beyond the pale when you really think about it. And the way her performance just, I don't know. I thought it was hilarious. If only he could stop with the killing me.
And I really thought I knew what way this episode was going to go with that title. I thought that she was going to come in and it was going to be a DOA situation. I want to report a murder. Who's mine? But then I actually thought that she was dead and was coming in when she said, my husband's killing me right now. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Like she's astral projecting or something. So I took this in a whole different way, but I ended up liking where it went, which was not supernatural whatsoever.
I thought that too. When she said that, because it was like, oh, like, because again, like that's what it seems like. There's some angle here, and it's just no. He's almost like Pusher from the X-Files, where it's like,
that's cerulean blue. Yeah,
yeah. It's this weird, like, just suggesting over and over again that it's putting her on edge constantly. I can't even imagine what that would be like. But good Lord.
I don't think we needed the sound effect of her getting run over in traffic. That wasn't necessary. Like the plan of it was obviously working. She left that police station feeling really no better than when she came in. There's certainly no less safe. So just having the police officer talking to his wife would have been sufficient. I do think we hold a little too long at the end. A little too long on the picture of his wife. A little like a minute feels like.
I was gonna say, I mean, to your point with the sound effect, it almost seems like it was added after the fact, and I know it obviously was, but more like they didn't ask James Gregory to react to anything. Because I watched it a couple times and he doesn't react at all, but we hear it as the audience. It's like he would have heard it. He should have reacted. There should have been like a sly little smirk or a grin or something, and there's nothing. So it feels like they gilded the lily just a little. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's a pretty good segment. That is just too on the nose.
I think it's twice as long as it probably should have been, but I'm not in any way angry at it because I would watch Geraldine Page do just about anything. I think she's great here. Anything else about this one, though? I think it's just really solid. I'm glad we're getting them. Peaks and valleys with this show, gentlemen. Peaks and valleys. All right.
I like the idea that James Gregory is at one point, he's like, she asked him, is your wife still as beautiful as the day you married her? And he just like stares at that photo just a moment too long. No, you're right. Like, it's just, again, like James Gregory was the perfect person for this role.
You know what's funny?
Perfect.
While watching it, I was like, I know this guy from somewhere. He's so good. I'm like, I'm going to look him up so we can discuss him on the show. And then I saw the credits of Barney Miller and I went, I'm not going to. I just closed my notebook. Like these guys can supply all the information we need to know about James Gregory.
Oh, yeah.
For the segment.
And he's playing a cop.
Yeah. Yeah, this is almost a prequel, but I don't think Luger took this career path. Plus, I don't think he would be married, according to Chris's theory.
My theory.
Yeah.
Hashtag Luger big gay.
Well,
maybe that's why he's got to kill the wife. He's going to come out, you know?
Yeah.
Father Malone, just two highlights off of Mr. Gregory's career. One, the role that he played in Manchurian Candidate. He was the husband, what's her name? Angela Lansbury. Really good role.
So good in that.
Yes. And then the other one is General Ursus, I believe is his name, from
Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes, yes.
Yeah, that voice, man. It's so good. He's great in this. As a two-person segment, a bottle thing we got here for 14 straight minutes, these two could have taken another 14, honestly. If they could have had some machinations added to this, would have been perfectly satisfied.
Here we have a cameo dandy. Problem, how to flee the coop. How to make tracks away from the police and unhappy peers. Ship out to safer climes. The story of a chap who, if he'd had it to do over again, would have remained where he was. He finds out that he is precisely what is the title of the picture. Dead weight.
All Our last segment here is called Dead Weight. This was written by Jack Laird from a short story by Jeffrey Scott and directed by Timothy Galfus. This one stars Jack Albertson, Bobby Darin, and Foghorn. Here it is again. Foghorn, that's right, one name, like Vampira or Mishu. At first, I thought this was from Treg Brown's Warner Brothers sound effects library. Turns out, Hanna-Barbera. Although I could have chosen a dozen different sounds of horns here from a dozen different libraries because they are layered non-stop in the background of this episode. If you're listening with headphones, all you were hearing was foghorns and occasional bubbling, which turned out to be a water cooler, and that was actually a really good payoff. But, oh, by the way, because I'm a monomaniac and I have to research everything, foghorns are actually called diaphones. They were invented by Robert Hope Jones in 1894. He was the creator of the Wurlitzer organ.
Wow.
I'm disappointed Leghorn wasn't mentioned in any form.
I know. Like, first you heard foghorns, and then you heard leghorns.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is the tale of a gangster.
I don't want to correct you or anything, but James Metropole also makes an appearance in here as delivery boy in one of the worst performances of an extra, he's not an extra. He's got a few lines. He's terrible. He's absolutely awful. Just the reaction shots that they let him do. And personally, I blame the editor because you get off of that guy as soon as possible and get right back over to Jack Albertson because he's putting on a show. Even when he's not even saying anything, just that face is fantastic. James Metropole, shame on you, man.
Remember in Cool Air, the worst part of that episode, which was a pretty good episode ultimately, was the fucking delivery guy. He shows up for one scene, just says a few lines of awfulness, and then I'm out. Just came to ruin this moment. Bye. This one's the tale of a gangster on the lam and the exporter who he approaches to help ship him out of the country. Continue, fellas.
I know we're all going to say the whole thing. Bobby Darin looks like Kevin Spacey. He played him, yada, yada, yada. I would actually put out a piece of information that I couldn't get out of my mind as I was watching it. Bobby Darin in this episode segment looks like Jeff Bezos with hair and a mustache. And it freaked me out the whole time I was watching it because he just looked like Jeff Bezos with hair and a mustache. And I couldn't get it out of my mind. Obviously, we know Kevin Spacey played Bobby Darin and whatnot. Bobby Darin, the least convincing gangster possible, as far as I'm concerned. Because
that elephant would have taken a 45 slug.
Yeah, but
wait till season 3. Can I just say that as far as
okay?
Just wait till season 3, and it's glorious. Anyway, go ahead.
This is pretty glorious in and of itself, though, because Bobby Darin, someone was like, "What are the most tropey, stereotypy things you could say as a gangster?" Like all the things that they have him say, and then some.
I think he died like the next year, if memory serves. This was like one of his last performances. Man, yeah, that mustache was just hilarious to me. And I know that Johnny Fontaine was based on Frank Sinatra, but I just kept thinking of Johnny Fontaine while I was watching this. And I just kept waiting for somebody to grab him and be like, "You can be like a man," you know?
Such a weasel.
Oh, he was such a weasel. Yeah, just that everything that went on. But he does a good turn, especially when he talks about shooting that little kid and the close-up they give him. I was like, oh, that's really good. I kind of like this.
But was it as good as the fisheye on Jack Albertson's face?
Oh, at the very end.
You okay? Everything okay with you? You all right? Everything okay?
He tells that story to Jack Albertson, and Jack Albertson replies, "That'll teach the little rascal not to play hooky."
Right. So good.
But he says, "I guess." He even goes as far as saying, like, "I guess that'll teach him." Like, he's like, "Are you playing a game with me?" Like, "Nah, I'm just being a dick to you because, like."
Bobby Darin seems to deliver every line like he's out of breath. Did you notice that? All right, man.
He's really worked up.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Like he just ran up to deliver these lines very quickly. Every time he's not on screen, he's running in place or something like that. Couldn't quite figure that out. I do think Kevin Spacey is a better Bobby Darin than Bobby Darin, actually.
Oh,
I get what you're saying, Chris, about the resemblance to a later thing, but Jesus Christ, couldn't get it out of my mind the entire time. It's Kevin Spacey.
Right.
And it was like,
luckily,
if he had been here, he would have been. I mean, he's problematic. I don't want to see him anymore, but like his performance would have been better than Bobby Darin's.
I am so glad I avoided all of that. Like when Kevin Spacey announced that he was going to do that when he was like, what, 50, 60 years old, and Bobby Darin died when he was 37. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want anything to do with this movie.
And then he booked himself a residency here in Las Vegas as Bobby Darin.
That's the best part.
Okay.
If you're going to take the joke one step too far,
Kevin
it wasn't a joke.
The joke is on us for paying to go see it if we did, you know.
Kevin Spacey does like to take the joke one step too far. That's why he's still doing barbecue videos.
Yeah. I do think, though, as fun as this segment is, I think y'all would both agree with me, it is a bit of a blackout sketch.
Yeah.
Totally. It works only because, again, like they have 6.5 minutes, 8 minutes to tell this, but it might be a little. He goes around the bend twice, Bobby Darin does, with the story, and it's like, I don't think maybe you need to tell it again.
Yeah.
Even more exasperated than before.
I found that very odd, the way that he revisits his crimes for a second time. I'm like, we heard you the first time.
He's a dastardly guy. Don't you get it?
Oh.
He's talking about it.
I think the idea is that he starts to feel guilt for it the second time he spills the story, but ultimately he's going to be dog food either way. That I kept expecting this was going to be some sort of supernatural thing. This is going to be some sort of soul thing. He was here to get his soul or get him a body or something. And when it just turned out to be like as simple as a glass of poison.
Right.
And he just falls over dead. I was like, wow, right on.
Well, and then I kept thinking, and this is something that we've talked about on here before too, what year is it? And I was thinking it was way earlier than that dog food container led me then to believe. I was like, oh, okay, this is 1973. I thought we were in 1926.
Might as well have been this import-exporter, yeah.
Yeah, the out of placeness, out of timeness of the story was strange.
Mm-hmm.
I like the gag of he's dog food now, but I love in a movie or a TV show where somebody offers somebody else a drink and the other person ain't paying attention, because Jack Albertson does not drink, even pretend to.
No.
He just and Bobby Darin just chugs the knocks it back, and he's just okay. Like, all right, you have fun with that. I just love that because he's like, we'll settle in on a toast. We'll have a toast to your health.
That'll teach the little rascal not to play hooky.
His death was pretty fantastic. The way he just keels over and dies. It reminded me of something like out of a Saturday Night Live skit.
Yeah, or a Monty Python, just like boop,
right.
Pump.
Couple that with the fisheye lens right before that, right on Jack Albertson's face.
Right.
They got a lot of mileage out of the fisheye lens this episode.
And 7 minutes, I didn't mind it. I know it's just a blackout sketch, but I like the lengthier blackout sketches if they're entertaining. Fill the episodes with 7 minutes blackout sketches. It'd be fun.
I thought the twist was going to be he sent him to Papua New Guinea or something, because in the 70s it would have been send him to the Bermuda Triangle or something, fuck this guy. You know what I mean? That's what I was expecting. I was not expecting him to make it out alive, because they paint his character into such a disgusting corner. It's like Jack Albertson is not going to not do something, because it's clear that he's very much on the up and up, but dog food?
It was unexpected.
Yeah, dog food would not have been where I guessed. That's
Jack Albertson gave him everything he promised. He was shipping him off to South America.
True. Yeah.
They're going to enjoy him down there.
Say he was going to get there alive or not as dog food.
He'll get there 15 years before the Contras.
Always ask your exporter, am I going to be dog food? Is the more.
Those are words to live by.
All right.
We're
going to play a preview of the next episode, and we'll be right back to wrap things up.
Our opening kickoff is deep into the end zone of the moors, where hounds bay and witches fly brooms. And the belief in the supernatural is as natural as breathing, or not breathing. We call this item, I'll Never Leave You, Ever. Our next painting tells the story of a young man whose major in school is philosophy, but whose extracurricular labors take him into the area of black magic. And for this, you don't get a degree, but the commencement ceremony is a gas. See for yourself as we offer you There Aren't Any More McBains.
That's right. On the next Midnight Viewing, we'll be taking a look at Season 2, Episode 20. That's broken into 2 segments. I'll Never Leave You, ever. And There Aren't Any More McBains. Until next time, what are you working on and where can people find it, Mike White?
You can always find everything that I do over at weirdingwaymedia.com. That includes my show, The Projection Booth, as well as a lot of other things that we work on, including, what is it, Dreams for Sale? That's still going on, right? I think we got a little bit of time until the clock finally runs out on that.
Although by the time they hear this, it'll be already out, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, you can hear the whole series over at weirdingwaymedia.com.
How about you, Christachio?
weirdingwaymedia.com, same place, all the same similar things, not all the same things, but a lot of the collaborative stuff. And then the Culture Cast, where, like Mike does on The Projection Booth, I talk about movies once a week. So if that's something you're interested in, that's where you can go to find it.
I got a lot of visual stuff over at fathermalone.com, but all of my audio content, all of the podcasts I work on, Dark Destinations and Astounding Tales of the Public Domain and Noise Junkies. Those can all be found at weirdingwaymedia.com. Thank you all for joining us here at Midnight Viewing. The gallery is now closed.